Who are you and what is your winning book?
I'm Blessing Musariri.
Hi, I'm Maisie Shearring, and this is my book,
Two People Can.
Wonderful, thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about what your book's about?
So Two People Can, I'll hold it up again so you can see, it's about Shingai. So he's the main character, and it's about him and his mum navigating their feelings after the death of Shingai's dad.
He's missing all the things he used to do with his dad, and it causes him to have a little bit of a meltdown. And it's just about what happens after he has this meltdown and how he resolves these feelings within himself and comes to an understanding that even though dad is not around anymore, me and mum can still do a lot of things together.
How do you feel about winning the IBC Awards?
I'm so excited, but at the same time, it's almost like I'm still having suspended feelings of like, is this really happening? Because it was completely unexpected, and the story has gone a lot further than I ever thought it would. So I'm ecstatic.
I feel really happy. I was just saying at the start here that this book has seen me through a lot. So I was making it when I was pregnant with my son, and then it came out just after he was born. So it was published, I think, a week after he was born. But then I've been in the midst of that baby times, which are lovely, but kind of quite tiring and tough. And then I think just as I was coming back to work, I found out it was shortlisted, and it felt such a boost to remember what I do normally. My illustrating, it just made me feel really happy, back to work with such amazing news. And also the IBC is an amazing charity. I'm very proud that the book's going to be featured on the website, which looks like an amazing resource for parents, like carers, librarians.
Wonderful, thank you. Why do you think it's so important to create inclusive books?
I think it's very important because everybody needs to see themselves in stories that are out there in the world, because otherwise you start to believe that you don't matter and what you're going through is not also important. But the actual fact of the matter is we're all going through the same things, and we all need to feel understood and seen and heard. And I think it's so important for everybody to feel like they're present.
So I think it's important to create inclusive books so that children can see themselves and their families and worlds in the stories that they're reading. I think stories can be all sorts of things for children. They can literally just make children laugh. They can be a wonderful way to regulate and a chance to have cuddle with someone they love. They're a way to learn about feelings or different situations, and obviously just generally escape into a story. In my experience, you're not just born as a baby loving books. I think when you're a baby, if you have books in your life, you'll gaze at the pictures, you'll be lying on your changing mat or in your pram or on someone's lap, looking around at pictures, and you'll bash and chew books and crawl over to them. So you're curious about the form and the pages when you're first sitting up as a baby, turning the pages. They're exciting, but I think it's like the adult or the carer or parent or teacher who then has to champion what a story is and the art and skill of listening to a story, which is a skill that needs to be taught. And then once you have that skill, it's like a superpower, because you then get all of those things like the emotional regulation, the place to escape. But I think, and this is a long-winded answer, but like for children to love books, if they can see themselves and their world, it makes a huge difference. And then once they have books in their homes or in a library where they can see themselves in it and their world and their experiences, that is going to unlock their confidence to delve into other stories too and learn about other worlds and other experiences. My only first-hand experience, I've always thought this was important, but my first-hand experience is my daughter is a redhead, and she's in a nursery setting where in her class, like, she's the only redhead. And since she's been in that setting, she'll say things like, she'll wake up and say, oh, my hair's not brown yet. Or so I can see she's already, she's only 3, but she's already reflecting on the idea that she's the only one with red hair. She wants to have hair like her cousin. She wants hair like me. But then when we read, I just randomly started reading Katie Morag to her, where the character's got red hair, and I can see the joy and confidence it brings my daughter to see herself in that book. And that was so profound for me, and just further cemented how important every child being able to see themselves in a story is, because it makes them feel like safe and secure, and then they get to love books and they get to love stories. And so that's the answer, which is hugely important, which I know IBC knows. And yeah,